Thank you, everyone who is joining me today. And I decided to do this a live broadcast to announce the exciting news. We actually did announcement already about our international nude photography workshop tour. And in today's broadcast, I'm going to talk more about the dates and cities where we're going to do the workshop, who should attend, and how participants will benefit from it. And by the end of this broadcast, I will open Q&A, so you will be able to ask me any questions. Again, sorry about the technical difficulties today. I hope now everyone can hear me well. So before I start, I want to introduce myself. My name is Yuliya Panchenko. For those who doesn't know me, I'm a boudoir and nude photographer based in Orlando. I'm in Florida. And the art of nude and boudoir photography is my passion. I love photographing women, men, and couples. And boudoir photography is something that I absolutely love to do. The art of nude and boudoir photography is something that I've been teaching over the past few years. I have been educating others on the art of boudoir photography through photography conventions, hands-on workshops, my platform, Believe in Boudoir, and of course here on YouTube. And these past 2 years, we've been doing workshops on boudoir photography here in the US. We've done a workshop in Canada and also in South America. So this year, we're super excited to go to Europe and to go to Brazil. And this year's workshop is going to be a little bit different. It's very unique, and it's all about fine art nude and bodyscape photography. I know many photographers, they really wanted to learn this style, and I've been getting many requests from you all to teach more about nude photography. And actually lately, all my clients, they booked me because of this specific style. So it's becoming very popular, not only among photographers, but also among regular female. They really like this style. And this year, we are bringing the nude photography workshop in 5 countries, except the US. The US is actually the 6th one. But besides the US, we're going to do this workshop in 5 different countries, and I'm going to show you our itinerary right here. So we will be in the UK, in London on June 15th, and the Netherlands in Amsterdam, we will be on June 22nd, Switzerland in Zurich, June 29th. So it's every week we'll be in a different country. And then we're going to Spain. We will be in Madrid. That's going to be July 6th. And in August, we're planning to visit Brazil, São Paulo, and do a workshop in Brazil. And this year, in March, actually next month, I'm doing a workshop here in my studio in Orlando. So it's March 16th for those who are in the US and those who really wanted to learn about fine art nude and bodyscape photography. This is your opportunity. We only have 7 to 10 spots available, and it's again happening pretty soon. It's going to be in March 16th. So I want to talk about a little bit more about the workshop itself. Who is it for, first of all? So we designed this workshop both for beginners and advanced photographers. So boudoir photographers who want to expand into nude photography will benefit from this workshop, and just photographers who want to improve their skills in capturing the human form artfully. So because this workshop is mainly about posing and lighting and creating really beautiful artistic artistic type of images with creative lighting. So this is a great opportunity to actually enhance your lighting skills. As I mentioned, the number of participants per workshop is limited to 6 to 10 photographers, and it depends on the studio, how big the studio is going to be in one or another country. And also due to the nature of nude photography, we don't want to do it to do a big group workshop because of the specifics of the workshop. It's a 1-day workshop, 8 hours, including a lunch break, and we will start at 9 a.m. and will be done in the evening. So all you need to bring really is just a camera and a lens, and we'll provide the rest. We'll be working with beautiful models, 1 or 2 models per workshop, and you'll be able to create stunning images for your portfolio. So I want to talk a little bit more about styles that you will be able to learn during the workshop. That's going to be 3 different styles in 1 day. Sensual nude photography is going to be fine art nude photography and bodyscape photography. So the sensual nude photography is something that you see right now on the screen. This is the example of sensual nude photography. So our goal is going to be to capture the essence of sensuality through beautiful, flattering lighting and a really elegant posing. So during this part of the workshop, we will focus mainly on how to create that beautiful pose that is very elegant, but also is very sensual. How to highlight the beautiful features of female's body, how to focus on those beautiful features of female's body, and what kind of lighting to use to highlight those best features. So, and pretty much we're gonna master the soft and flattering lighting techniques. We will learn how to direct models for natural, more sensual poses, and you will understand the importance of composition and background in creating those intimate images, intimate photographs. I want to show you a couple more examples so you would have an idea what this style is about. So as you can see, it's very elegant, but at the same sensual, and it's a nude photography. Somebody's asking a question: what made you switch from weddings to boudoir? Um, uh, yeah, I switched from weddings to boudoir because I just love photographing females and I love to create beautiful art with females' body. And weddings, and I can generate more profit with boudoir photography than weddings. So there are many reasons that we can actually talk after my presentation. I'll be open for Q&A, so you can ask me more. So this is what I call sensual nude photography. Okay, so another style that we are going to talk about and create is fine art nude photography. Um, this is similar to what you've seen, but it's more artistic. It's with a focus mainly on parts of the body and creating a beautiful work of art with female's body. So we'll mainly talk about shadows and shapes and forms and how to produce images that are both timeless and evocative. So During this part of the workshop, when we are creating fine art nude photography, we will talk about highlights and shadows, how to create that perfect balance between highlights and shadows. I will show you all the lighting techniques that I'm using to create this type of stunning images. We will explore creative compositions and how to create beautiful piece of art with a female's body. So it's a very beautiful type of photography, and it takes practice, and it takes a lot of time to actually understand how to achieve this type of image with perfect highlights and perfect shadows. So during the workshop, you will not only get a recipe on different lighting setups, but you will be able to understand yourself how to position your light to achieve one or another type of image. And these are just the examples of fine art nude photography. So during the workshop, we will also talk about how to pose for fine art nude images. So how to create or accentuate beautiful curves of female's body, and how to highlight those curves to create a beautiful piece of art. This is a very popular style among my clients, at least. Everybody who is booking me for their session, they want this type of images in their album, and they also want me to print those images big to create an artwork for their wall. And it's I think these type of images look amazing on the wall, and people want to see themselves as a piece of art in those photographs on their walls. And those are just some examples, and you will be able to capture similar or the same images during the workshop. So another style that I'm super excited to talk about and introduce to photographers is the Bodyscape nude photography. So here we will focus on the abstract aspects of the human body, and photographers will learn how to craft images to showcase the body's landscape. So we will, with the emphasis on lines and curves. It's a beautiful style of photography that resembles a natural landscape. So I will teach you which part of the body we have to focus or experiment with to achieve images that would resemble a natural landscape. That's why we call this style of photography bodyscape photography. Again, I will show you how to pose and what parts of the body we have to focus on when we are creating this type of images. I will show you different lighting techniques to achieve these images and how to create that perfect highlight to create artistic, flattering image. These are just some of the examples, and that photographers will be able actually to capture during the workshop. So this is going to be a hands-on experience where you will be able to learn all about posing, elegant posing, artistic posing, and you will learn all about lighting setups, lighting techniques, and you will understand how to position light to achieve one or another type of image. Um, We will do portfolio, of course, we'll work on portfolio building. We'll have one or two models, and you will be able to photograph and to achieve all the images that I just showed you in this presentation. So you will leave studio or workshop with a minimum of 25 gorgeous fine art nude images and bodyscape images. So we will also teach you on how to market this type of photography and how to attract more clients, clients who will pay more in order um, uh, to to get this type of images, and how to sell it as a piece of art. And you will be able to ask any questions that you have during the workshop. I will check on everybody's images to make sure that we're all getting perfect images for your portfolio. This workshop is $799 only. And again, it's limited to 6 to 10 photographers per workshop. And if you are in one of those cities that I mentioned earlier, in one of those countries, and you have a studio and you want to host our workshop, please email us. You can email at info@believeinboudoir.com with a request to host one of our workshops in your city or in your country, and we'll be happy to discuss the details. I'm super, super excited about this workshop tour. It's going to be an amazing experience to finally meet with all of you who actually already booked the workshop, and create some artistic, beautiful images together with our stunning models during the workshop. Um, Please let me know if you have any questions related to the workshop or any photography related questions. I'll be happy to answer. We still have quite a time, so I'll be happy to jump on and answer your questions. Let me open the comments area. Somebody says the image is like a waterfall. Maybe that's why it's called bodyscaping. Yeah, the bodyscape photography does resemble natural landscape. And this type of images, my clients at least, they want to be printed big and hang on the wall. And they look gorgeous in print. Okay, let me know if you have any questions related to a workshop. Maybe you have any questions, or I think somebody asked, do you think female models will be comfortable to shoot with male photographers? We're going to hire female nude models who have done nude photography before, so they will be comfortable, and we will create a really comfortable environment during the workshop. So it's they will be comfortable shooting with male or female photographers. Yes. Any questions? I think this is a cool opportunity to learn something really cool, something really different, and elevate your photography to a next level. It's good. It's the workshop not only for boudoir photographers or nude photographers. This is also for portrait photographers, because during the workshop you will learn how to create flattering poses, and how to highlight beautiful features of female's body, how to create piece of art with a female's body. So it's a little bit, it's a unique workshop, as I mentioned. It's different that what that this type of photography was part of our regular workshop, but with this workshop we're going to focus only on fine art nude, bodyscape, and sensual nude photography. Do you recommend any particular lens for this genre? Um, so for bodyscape photography, I personally use macro lens. If you have one, please bring it. 50 millimeter lens would work, and 70 to 200 millimeter lens. So anything in that range would definitely work. Whatever lens you have, bring it with you. We'll make it work. If you have a 50 millimeter, 35 millimeter, whatever you have would work with that type of photography. And you literally need to bring only a camera and your lenses with you. The rest we will provide. We will work mainly with the backdrop. So we don't, if you're if you really want, if you're a photographer, you want to host our workshop, you don't need to have a fancy studio. All we need is just a space with some backdrops, maybe posing tubes or some couches if available. If not, then it's not a problem. And it's a great opportunity also to learn how to create stunning images, even not having a fancy studio. So if you have your home studio and you have a backdrop and you have lights and your camera, you can still create stunning images for your clients. So yeah, it's for everybody. It's even if you don't have a studio, you will learn how to actually, without having a studio, actual commercial studio, create images that your clients will absolutely love and book you. Thank you for clarifying. You're welcome. Thank you for answering. Can you share a bit about the pro and cons and do's and don'ts about this genre? A good question. Pros and cons. So I would say, since I um, introduced this type of photography to my clients, I could increase my prices. So because that type of photography requires more knowledge on lighting, and you need to create a different setup for that specific type of photography. I always sell it with my last most expensive package. So I include finer nudes and bodyscapes into my last package, and people, they always want those type of images, and that pushes them to get my most expensive package. So with this type of photography, you can really market yourself better. You can sell your packages for higher, and you can upsell by offering your clients bigger wall art. So because of the style of photography, it's so artistic, it's so beautiful, and you don't really have to show the identity of a person in the photographs. As you can see over here on those two images right now that are displayed, you don't see who the person is, and that's what they love about it. They don't want their face to be displayed on the wall with being nude, for different reasons. So this type of fine art nude style of photography is perfect to be displayed on the wall. So that's what happens when I introduced my clients to this type of photography. So I cannot really say anything that is not gonna work. Like if you all you need for that style, you don't need fancy studio, as I mentioned. You just need a backdrop, just plain backdrop, nothing else. You need your camera that you are doing your regular sessions with. You need one light or maximum two lights. If you have constant light, they will work. If you have flashes, they will work. So literally, if you have one light, you can still create those gorgeous images. Most of the images that I just showed you, they were captured with just one light, one single light and one modifier. So it's, yeah, there is nothing negative to tell about it. It's yeah, and everybody wants in our days. Every single client that comes to my studio, they want nude photography. They are, some of them might be um, a little bit shy at the beginning, but then when we start boudoir session, I always end with nude photography. At the end of the, I do it at the end of the session, and people just feel so comfortable and they're not shy anymore when we started. And when they see the final result, they're like super excited. So it's difficult sometimes to promote, but it's the same as with the boudoir photography in general. So if you want to run ads, that's going to be a little bit problematic. But even if you're running ads with boudoir photography in general, that becomes a little bit difficult. That is itself is a little bit difficult. So unbox travel. Thank you so much for all these questions. Alex said hi, Yuliya. Hi, Alex. Let me scroll up and see if there was any questions. Somebody is asking Florida. If I'm in Florida, weren't you just in Russia not so long ago? No, I'm not from there even. I was born in Azerbaijan. That's a country close to Turkey. And my hometown is Baku. That's where I came from. And I moved to the US in 2010. Yes. And I'm still here. So I don't travel to Russia. Unbox Travel says, and thank you so much. You're welcome. Any questions, guys? Any questions related to photography, not necessarily to my workshop, but please ask me anything. We still have some time. I think my technical issues scared people away. Denise is asking, so do you speak Turkish, Azerbaijani? I do speak Azerbaijani, but I'm not fluent and I'm forgetting it. No, that's fine. I understand perfectly and I can speak Azerbaijani as well. All right. It's so quiet today. I'm not sure if people can see me on Instagram. If somebody is watching me through Instagram, could you please write it in the comment? Unboxed Travel is asking your love towards Nikon. Yes, I do photograph with Nikon, and now I photograph with Nikon Z8. I absolutely love it. I enjoy it, and I've been using Nikon D850 for a very long time. So I've started with Nikon since I started doing photography, and I invested a lot into all my lenses. As many of you know, I've been a wedding photographer, and being a wedding photographer, we need a variety of different lenses. So I have almost all the lenses that a photographer needs. So, and when you invest in one brand, it's very difficult to switch, as many of you know. So I'm with a Nikon, and I absolutely love it. Do you always get model releases for later publications of your work? Yes, you always have to get model release no matter what. So if you're working with a model, you always have to make them sign a model release, and just to avoid any problems in the future, especially if you are working or doing a project for a publication. More questions, guys? Um, so I just wanted to also share a link to our new fine art nude and bodyscape photography workshop tour. So if you go to believeinboudoir.com/workshop, you'll find a list of locations and dates. And if you click on each, you will be able to register. You'll see also information, images that you will be able to capture during the workshop, and information on what you will learn at the workshop. Thomas said, miss the video. You can watch the video again on YouTube. It's going to be published here. Last question from Unbox Travel. He asks, how did, let me actually show, how, how did your YouTube journey help in building your community or followers on Instagram? YouTube is actually it's a great marketing tool. So it really helps with anything with your business. And as many of you know, I am the founder of Believe in Boudoir. That's one of the largest boudoir photography platforms, and majority of those who are on the platform right now, they found me through YouTube. So that's an amazing tool to market yourself as a photographer and as an educator. Michelle says, I found your channel from your long form boudoir shoot videos. Do you still make those long form boudoir shoot videos? Michelle, do you mean the full sessions that I sometimes post on YouTube? The full boudoir sessions? If that's the what you're talking about, I I still do them, but if there is any specific request, please write it in the comments. We'll be happy to do something specially for you. Full sessions, okay, yes. I've done those a lot, and I will do another one. Michelle asked for a full boudoir session. I've heard they're very helpful. Michelle, can you share with us why you love those full boudoir sessions and what did you learn from them? Somebody says, just here to congratulate your beauty and your breathtaking art. Thanks for sharing both. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining our broadcast today. And let me know if you have any questions. We still have 10, 15 minutes here. Somebody says, I learned so much from you. Well, I'm glad all the classes and workshops and our platform helps all of you guys. And I would love to know what exactly you would like to learn about. And we will be happy to work on those videos, post them here on YouTube for YouTube community or on our Believe in Boudoir platform. For those who doesn't know about Believe in Boudoir, again, Believe in Boudoir is a platform for boudoir and nude photographers with over 50 courses on posing, lighting, editing. There's so much content. We have courses on bodyscape photography, fine art, bodyscape photography for females and males, fine art nude photography for females, males, and couples. We have lots of full boudoir sessions. We have um, sessions in different environments. We have courses on, there's so much, guys. There are courses on bridal boudoir, couples boudoir, uh, fashion boudoir. So check on the website. It's believeinboudoir.com and see what we have. And if you're not a member, please join. We also have Believe in Boudoir community where you can share your images with everyone. Where you can get feedback from other photographers or from me and also inspire each other. So Michelle says, I love the picking of outfits, the lighting tips, and the posing tips. I especially love the collaborations with florists and doing photo shoot with flowers. They're beautiful art. Thank you so much, Michelle. Yes, we just did another floral shoot, and it was more of like a Renaissance inspired type of session with two models here in my studio. We had a $6,000 floral setup here right behind me. It was so difficult to say bye to that setup and throw the flowers away. But we did an amazing shoot, and I can't wait to share all the images with you guys. We didn't do a video on that, sorry. I just did some behind the scenes with my phone. I posted them on social media. But yeah, when I create a reel with final images, I'll add more behind the scenes into that reel. But it's good to know, Michelle. Thank you so much for sharing. So you really like those videos of the full boudoir session videos with where we show posing tips and lighting techniques. Okay, George is asking if you have to choose, what kind of light do you prefer for your work? Mm, yeah, it's difficult to say depending on what kind of project I'm working with, whether it is dramatic lighting or I'm using with lighting for beauty shots. So it's completely different styles. So, but I personally prefer dramatic lighting. I want to see more shadows and less highlights, I would say. So, and I also love creative lighting. And we're planning on actually releasing short videos on how to create one or another image with creative lighting. So stay tuned. I'm pretty sure you will love those short videos. Did you have any Iranian models? Somebody's asking. Iranian models. Not for boudoir, but for portrait photography, yes. And Persian women are gorgeous. Any questions? We have 5 more minutes left. So if you guys have any questions related to workshop or photography related questions, please feel free to ask. Do you pay the models or it's collaboration? It's both, depending on the project. Sometimes we collaborate and exchange time for print, and sometimes, most of the time, I pay my models, especially if it's a commercial project. What is the length of your session typically? Um, so, not including makeup and hair, it's about 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. With makeup and hair, just makeup takes about 1.5 hours, sometimes two, depending on the type of hair we're working with. But yeah, we usually start at around 11, and I end my session around 2:30 and 3 p.m. So again, depends depending how fast I photograph, if we do any breaks in between, but normally 2.5 hours, 2 hours. So the fine art nude photography, if that's included into the package, and if I'm photographing, creating fine art nudes and bodyscapes, those require a little bit more time because every person is different, different body forms, different shapes, and um, depending on the style, I have to adjust the light to, and I'm a perfectionist, so I love to achieve perfect and balanced lighting, balance between highlights and shadows. To me, it's very important. So that part of the session may take a little bit longer than normal session. Do you always follow the same flow or improvise? Mm, I sometimes improvise, but what I usually do, I created let's say, variety of different setups. I use 17 hats, and it's a CRM system. And I created a questionnaire in 17 hats with images of from each setup. And there's a question, yes or no, yes or no. So I send that questionnaire to my clients prior to the session, um, during the after they book me. So I send that questionnaire to make sure to understand what style of images and what setups they want to include into their session. So, and different packages include different setups, or the number of setups. So they have to choose the setup that they like. So when they come to my studio, I know exactly what setup to create here in the studio and photograph them only within those setups, if that makes sense. So it actually helps um, to stick to what they want, and not overwhelm yourself offering things that or doing things that they really don't need. And it happened to me when I understood one, but they wanted something else. And that really helps. So if you have the list of setups that you can go through with your client, and they will pick one or another, it's going to be easier for you and to work with that client during the photo session without asking extra questions. But I would recommend also to stick to the flow. Flow helps, especially if you're starting out. It really helps to be consistent and to move faster. You show them images or like a drawing of the setup. You show them images or like a drawing of the setup. No, I show them images in that specific setup because usually, let's say if I'm working on the brighter side of my studio, the setup is light and bright, and I show images with a model in that specific setup. So they understand the final image, not just how the setup looks. So they know, okay, for this setup, it's going to look brighter. I need to bring this type of lingerie. And for that setup, which is dark and moody and has like maybe like colors like green or brown, my images are going to look dark and moody, and I have to bring something that will look good in front of that wall, for example. George is asking, so you normally work in a studio with artificial lights, right? Do you think that is hard to build your style with natural light? Your style with natural lights. No, it's not difficult to build your style with natural light. That's going to be just your style. And I know photographers who work in Airbnbs and they don't bring artificial light with them, and they still create beautiful light. You can actually control. It's difficult, but you can actually control natural light as well, even in a place that is not your space, for example, Airbnb or a hotel. You can bring something to create even dramatic type of lighting. It's going to be challenging, but the more you move from one space to another and using natural light, you will understand the challenge and you will adjust to that challenge quickly, and you will be able to create consistent images with those type of adjustments, if that makes sense. So yes, the answer is you can have you can have your specific style even if you're using natural light. What was the best photo you ever took? I can say the best, not the best, but my favorite photo session ever was the photo shoot with airplane. I think the um, it was a fun session, if you've seen on my portfolio, and it was challenging at the same time, and it was fun at the same time, and the images turned out really beautiful. So we started during the harsh lighting, and we captured some interesting images with that type of lighting, and then we created some images with artificial light by the airplanes, and then the sunset images, and then the night style images. So that was a challenging session for me because I had to capture within 3 hours, facing different lighting scenarios, and how I overcome these lighting challenges was a good experience for me. Bye for now. Your photos are astonishing. Keep doing what you so wonderfully do. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Oh, before I conclude, we have one more question. Tips on getting emotion from women who may be nervous instead of the same facial expression. Do you play music? So I start all my sessions with hair and makeup, and I serve champagne or wine, so that makes them feel a little bit more relaxed. But they still can be nervous when they're starting their sessions. So I do play music, and I usually play music related to kind of like more sensual type of music, or I ask if they have their own playlist that would help them to get into the mood and relax a little bit. And most of the time they say yes, and we play their playlist, so it's very helpful. And I talk to them during the makeup session. So I also show them how they look in my camera when we start. And then when they start seeing how beautiful they are, they get a little bit less nervous and more relaxed. So it takes about 30 minutes for people to feel a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera and start liking themselves and liking the photos. And then when you see that they're completely comfortable, then you can ask more from them in terms of facial expressions. But there is a facial expression that works for everybody. I always say that in all my courses. It's when you ask your client to close your eyes, relax her lips, and breathe, slightly keep lips apart and breathe through the mouth and hold the breath for a second, and then relax. So it looks kind of like this. So when we do that, it naturally looks very sensual, and it's easy to do for all of us women. And when we're doing reveal session, they love those images. I notice most of the time they're selecting images where their eyes closed and lips slightly apart. So if none of the facial expressions doesn't work, then just try this one. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work for them. Mm. George says, nice to know that you're coming to Madrid. See you there. See you there, George. I hope you will. I'll see you at the workshop. So here on the screen, you can see the link to check on the workshop's details and to register to get your spot. Again, the workshops that we're planning to do are going to take place in the UK, in the Netherlands, Switzerland, Spain, and Brazil. We already have a host in Switzerland. We're looking for a host in the UK, in the Netherlands, and Spain. So if you're a photographer and you have a studio, or you know a photographer who has a studio, and you want to host our workshop, please email us. And I'm going to share the email as well with you. So here's our email. You can email to info@believein.boudoir.com. Send a request, and we will schedule a meeting together and talk more about what we're giving you in return for you to host our workshop in your studio. And thanks again, everyone who joined me today. Sorry about for the technical issues that happened at the beginning of the video. And stay tuned. I hope I'll see you all in our workshop. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments, and I will answer them later. Believe in Boudoir, and I'll see you later.